Hey everybody, welcome to MGTOW is Freedom. I'm John, the host with the most, at least for the time being while you're watching. And then it's on to the next host. But remember, you're the man. You have the penis. You're your own host. Anyways, I do these videos, guys, and I'll start off thinking, okay, I'm going to have about a 10 to 15 minute talk. And sometimes I just go off. I go on, and if that's good, I'm glad. If it's bothersome, I apologize. You know, some of my videos do get kind of lengthy, and the one about fear, cigar combined with scotch, combined with a lot to say about that, took that video a long ways. So no promises. I'll keep them down to 10 minutes, but I'll do my best. Basically, I want to get all the information I have onto the video for your consideration. And I want to thank all you guys for watching. Give it a thumbs up. Just do it now. Bam. Give this video a thumbs up. You know it's going to be good. Also, give all MGTOW videos on all channels a thumbs up. We're going to continue to find ourselves under an increasing attack from feminist whores and the limp-wristed wimps in social media and computer land. You know, if you're a computer nerd and you're masculine, God bless you. But most of them, as far as I'm concerned, are a bunch of panty wastes, a bunch of fucking pussies. And I've had it with them, right? Using their computer power to push their social agenda. Well, they can fuck off. All right. Oh, and thank you for this stogie, guys. Those of you who contributed to the old system, which was fan funding through YouTube, and have now switched over to Patreon, I thank you very much. You guys buy the cigars, you buy the scotch, right? And I really appreciate that. It's cool. It's the best I can do to say, hey, let's have a drink together, right? So I have a scotch and a stogie usually while I sit down and talk to you guys. And pardon the power tools in the background. It's a beautiful sunny day, and it'll probably be snowing tomorrow, but for the time being, the neighbors are out with power tools, and they're going to let their presence be known, right? There's men about with power tools. Okay, so mansplaining. I heard this term and just about came out of my fucking socks. This isn't, and again, it's been years that I heard it, right? But every now and then I hear it again and I just have a chuckle. I'm like, mansplaining, are you sure that's a fucking problem? You got a fucking problem with that? So I want to cover kind of the quick history of mansplaining through my eyes, through my experience. When I was a little boy, I goofed around. I had Hot Wheels, I had toys and shit, baseballs. And I'd see my dad over there either working on something, and I'd go, hey Dad, can I help? That looks kind of manly. I wanted to try that shit. And he's like, now son. And he started, in hindsight, mansplaining. This is a saw, and this is a piece of wood, and this is a tape measure. This is how this works. And as much as a 4 or 5 or a 6-year-old boy could understand, he starts learning from Dad. And Dad uses that awesome fucking tone, the mansplaining tone, right? He's not talking down to you. He's putting it in terms he's sure you're going to understand because he wants to communicate, right? Communication. This great human skill developed by men, right? Women love to pretend they're the communicators. No, they're the manipulators. Men communicate because we build. If you're going to build Solomon's temple, if you're going to build the great pyramids, if you're going to build the great cathedrals, the high-rises, skyscrapers, you've got to communicate. You do it scientifically with math. You do it with good language skills, like pick up that fucking shovel and go dig that ditch, right? We get the job done. Women use communication to manipulate people, not to build. Big fucking difference. If you're a bitch watching this, it's time for some mansplaining, so I want you to take it as mansplaining. Anyways, back to my dad. So he mansplains to me about tools and the objective. What we're doing. And as a boy, I was like, oh, this is great. Dad's teaching me. He's telling me really important shit here. Right? I'm going to pay attention. And if you're a dad, you see it in your son's eyes. You're like telling him something. He's like, oh, this is the good stuff, right? Mansplaining. It fucking works. It's not there to put you down. It's there to communicate with you, right? It's there to teach you the way it is. And as a boy, as a man, you eat that shit up. Dad's telling me the way it is. This is fucking great, right? Then your dad says, hey, son, go to the fridge. Get your dad a beer. He's getting thirsty. Right? So you run to the fridge, you get a beer, you bring it back, cracks the top or spins the bottle cap off, and he says, son, this is a beer. And you're like, yeah, Dad, you drink beer. Tell me about it. Well, son, when a man gets thirsty, he wants to be refreshed. And when he's done getting pissed off at his job, he needs to relax, and that alcohol helps you, right? So he mansplains to us. He fucking tells us the way it is. And we eat that shit up. We're like, yeah, Dad, beer. That's the stuff. Men love beer. Right? So you got the mansplaining going on, and you love it. You love to hear that tone of voice. Right? And maybe I do some mansplaining on this when I go, now guys, here's what I think of whores. Right? And maybe I get mansplaining tones. But who gives a fuck? It's mansplaining. It's what we do. We're men. Right? And I'm trying to communicate. I'm trying to communicate the best way I can, use the best words, best situation, everything. It's fucking mansplaining. It's good. Mansplaining is good. And maybe you remember the talk with your dad, your uncle, or your dad and his friends in a group, and they're telling jokes, and you walk all over as a kid, and you get up there and go, hey guys, hey Dad, what are you guys talking about? And they go, son, we're talking about women, right? And he goes, you know about women, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, I know about women. He's like, they got titties, right? They got asses, you know? Or, geez, you know, the guys, you're invited into the circle of men, right? Your dad and his friends, your uncles, whatever the case is, right? And you're talking about women, a pain in the ass, nitpicking bitches, whatever was said, right? It's manly, it's mansplaining, right? And they'll be talking, and then Dad will look down to you and put it into terms you can understand, right? Because I didn't understand what the fuck they were saying. I was 10, 12. You know, I had some ideas, and you know, they explain things, right? My dad used the term snatch once. He goes, yeah, women is snatch. And I looked at him like, what's that mean? He goes, well, son, snatch is a term we use to describe the pussy. And I was like, ah, thanks, Dad, right? He mansplained it to me. I'm in on the know. Mansplaining is good. I'm on the inside now. I know how shit works. I know what shit's called. I know about beer, scotch, whatever. Power tools, right? It takes mansplaining to get you there. So what's the fucking problem? Well, I'll tell you. Now we move on to the problem. The problem is women, feminist whores, don't like mansplaining. They don't like to learn by being lectured to by a man, or dictated to by a man, or told the way it is by a man. They say we're patronizing them. Well, if they don't fucking understand, right, you're in a meeting and you look across the table and you say, balance sheet. And the girl looks at you, fucking deer in the headlights, and you go, now, I'm going to have to explain for the benefit of everyone at the table, a reminder what a balance sheet is. And she goes, we don't need the mansplaining, because I was patronizing. And the proper response is, if you had known what a balance sheet is, I wouldn't have to explain it to you. But since you don't know, I'm going to have to, otherwise the meeting comes to a fucking end and the corporation crashes. Shut your fucking pie hole, put up with a little mansplaining, grow up. Now, maybe here's a theory. When I was 5, I wanted to hear the mansplaining. I wanted Dad to explain it to me. Girls are 5 in their head. Women, feminist whores, 5 years old. They don't want anyone to tell them. Because one, they don't want to know. They're not capable of learning. And they don't want to be held responsible for having that fucking knowledge. Because let's go outside, do this. Now, if everyone will take a look at your balance sheet, And I look around the table, and the women are sitting there like, what's a balance sheet? And I go, okay, I'm going to have to explain to you what a balance sheet is. And I go through the process of saying, this is a balance sheet. And I say, everyone check your schedules. Next Tuesday, same time, same bat channel. We're going to have another meeting on the same subject. Now they're held responsible. Next week, they have to remember what a balance sheet is. They have to know its importance, why we're talking about it, and what we're going to do about it. They don't want to be mansplained because, one, it makes them feel stupid. That's right. They should have known what it is before they even got into that job, before they were coming to this meeting. They should fucking know. But they don't, and they forget, and they don't care. And they don't want to be reminded of their ignorance, that they're 5-year-old little girls that all they care about is getting the paycheck. They don't want to have to work for it. They just want daddy to give them money. Right? They don't like being mansplained to because it exposes their ignorance, their unwillingness and inability to learn and to retain important information. And a balance sheet is a simple thing. Really, a 5-year-old could learn what a balance sheet is. You sit down with them for 10 minutes, you can explain it. You know, mansplain it. But they don't want that. They don't like being exposed as stupid because women want to believe they're as smart as men, that they're as good as men, that they're qualified to hold the job, the position that they're in. They don't like being embarrassed in front of other people when you start to explain things to them. So in defense of themselves, and in an effort to degrade you as the man, they will say, don't mansplain to me. You don't need to be mansplaining, as if you're doing something wrong. All of a sudden, as a knowledgeable man trying to help an ignorant woman, you're guilty of some social crime like mansplaining. You're not guilty of shit, right? Little boys, they love for their dads to tell them shit like that, right? Explaining it to them. And you get to use that awesome paternal tone of voice, right? And fuck, it had to be a month ago. I got mansplained by by my boss, right? One of my two bosses. I was pissed off, right? And I was fucking losing it. Private meeting. And he goes, now, John, I'm going to need you to step back, take a deep breath, and think about what you're going to say next. And I was like, oh, I just got mansplained. He just pointed out that I'm taking this subject way too personal. It was funny as fuck, right? We got done with the conversation, and I go, hey, man, great mansplaining, thanks, you know. And he's like, hey, it's what we do, you know, and that's my boss there. I did not take offense to it. It's mansplaining. Right? I did not see and recognize that I was taking the subject matter way too personal. Way too personal, and he just set me straight. He mansplained it. I saw it, and I was like, oh, you know, geez, you know, even at 47, and I needed some splaining. And I accept that because I'm a man, and I understand I have limitations. No man's an island. No man is perfect. No man knows everything. But he communicated in a way with me that made sense, that got the point across, that allowed the process, the effort, the work, the building of goodness, of things to continue. Because if I just sat there in a state of mind, a frame of mind where I was upset on a personal level, the job would come to an end. Women don't care about that. They don't care about the job. They don't care about you. They want your mansplaining to stop. And they don't care if it stops the whole fucking process at work. They just don't give a shit. They don't want to look and feel. Inside, they feel. When you start mansplaining shit, they don't want to feel. They're like, oh, he's mansplaining. That means I don't know. And I don't want to feel like I don't know. And they revert to feelings-based idiocy. Well, I'm not going to put up with this. I'm not going to put up with the feeling that I'm not smart enough. And so they punish you and others at the table. And start saying, well, you're not going to mansplain to me, talking down to me, patronizing me like I'm a dumbass, while in the back of their head they're going, oh, I'm a dumbass. I need to cover my ass. I need to make it sound like I know what I'm talking about, right? And then I can put him in his place, right? And they start that shit. And I'm going to tell you, even your girls in your personal lives, they don't like mansplaining either. And they'll try manning up to you because they think you're their equal. They don't want you taking charge of the relationship, you telling them the way it is. They don't like that. They don't want to fucking hear it, because then they are personally held responsible. Much like the professional, now they're personally held responsible. You say something like, you're not going to go out with girls. You're not going to have a girls' night out. Why? Because girls' night out inevitably leads to you fucking around on me. Whether or not you intend it to happen, it's going to happen. Either you go home with somebody else, or someone's going to slip something in your fucking drink, or you're going to get too drunk, and you're going to end up in a fucking gutter, or staying at your friend's house, and someone's going to put their dick in your ass. Right? So that's not going to fucking happen. As head of the house, as the man, I have the penis. I'm the boss. I'm in charge. I'm the head honcho. Right? I'm the big cheese. I'm the kahuna. I'm saying no. And if you don't fucking listen to me, and if you don't like it, there's the fucking door. Go get your suitcase, pack your shit up, call your fucking mama, you're going home. It's a man's fucking world out there, and you need to learn that there's man's rules that everyone plays by. And ultimately, you're going to get your little fucking tail in a crack, and it's all over. How many of you men have talked to a woman that way? I have. And I can tell you, no matter how kind and good the girl is, she doesn't like that mansplaining. She don't fucking like it. She doesn't fucking like it. Because she thinks she's grown up. She thinks she knows better. She thinks she's an independent agent. She thinks that there's rules to the game that comply with her way of thinking. No, that's not how it works. It's a fucking man's world out there. There's man rules in business, and there's man rules in social activities. And a lot of men, and I'm not saying they're good men, they're fucking assholes, will rape their dumb asses. And other women will convince your girl, right, that she needs to cheat on you, so that those other girls can feel good about their cheating. So they're part of a fucking club, right? You need to get out and get some more man. You need to get another man. Nah. That fucking girl shit, right? Social pressure. Women cave to social pressure from other girls because they want to fit in, right? But they don't want to hear fucking mansplaining from you because they should know better, and they know they should. And they don't. So back in the back of the head, they know they're wrong. They know it. They know they're fucking wrong back here in the back of their head. But the front part says, you don't talk to me that way. You don't put me down like that. You don't talk to me like I'm a child. And I'm like, you're a fucking 5-year-old girl. Because you're not facing reality. You're not fucking facing reality. Just because you've lived a long time doesn't guarantee you think like an adult. And women, by and large, don't think like adults. If they did, we wouldn't have the fucking problems we have. Now, would we? No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't have the financial problems. We wouldn't have the marital fucking problems. We wouldn't have parental problems. The world was fine until some fucking pricks thought it'd be a good idea to give women the right to vote, property rights, divorce rights, legal rights. Now, I'm going to have to say somewhere along the line, you have to recognize that they're human beings and they can be independent contractors and work for themselves in such a way. But if you're going to be married to a man, that's done. His house, his rules, because men know better. And if you don't believe me, then you must be a woman. Because us men know, right? Mansplaining. Mansplaining. What a fucking gift, right? You know, in the beginning, God said, let there be light, right? The very first verse of the Bible is mansplaining. You know, when I went to boot camp, I was 18, I thought I knew all kinds of shit. Nope. Fucking drill instructors, you know, they tear your ass down to nothing, and then they build you. They build you back up, right? They build you the way they want you to be built as a Marine, as much as they can tear you down and bring you back. And they do it with mansplaining the whole fucking way. With man punishment the whole fucking way. And when I was a jarhead, they weren't supposed to, but they fucking hit you. Got hit in the gut. Fucking arm bent backwards, punched. You know, whatever they could get away with, you know. A little bit of pain to go with that mansplaining. I loved it. I'd much rather do that than the fucking bends and thrusts, man. Fucking bent. Plenty of mansplaining. And as I got older, got out of the Marines, was in private sector and business, whatever business I was in, mansplaining. Right? It means you don't know, so therefore you have to be schooled. You have to be taught. And there's nothing wrong with that. And when you're getting the mansplaining, you're getting the good stuff, right? Because that person's communicating on a level that makes sense. And there's no reason to be insulted by it. There's no reason to be insulted by it. Now, I have used mansplaining to insult, so we'll cover that as a final thing. I've had to explain stuff to women. And the technique I used was mansplaining. The tone, the simple words, right? And it was meant as an insult. Why? Because it wasn't the first fucking time I did it. Why? Because they refused to learn. Why? Because they kept wanting to do things that cause pain, loss of money, loss of free time, right? Loss of assets. Making stupid financial decisions, whether personal or business. You go, why did you do that? Now let's look at this like an adult. And then you explain things, right? It's a tax write-off, yes. But you don't spend $50,000 to save 10. Because you still have a net loss of 40 in operating capital. Now I can't use that cash for other CapEx projects. You've handicapped the business, which means you don't get a fucking raise, I don't get a fucking raise. Now, do you see what you did wrong? You went and made a decision without proper authority, and you fucked us. I combined personal stuff and business stuff all in that example. But yeah, it's to make them feel stupid. Right? Because they made a mistake, and they shouldn't have made that decision or made that mistake. They should have confided in you as the man before they do that. And one time is an accident. Hey, it's forgivable. A little mansplaining, straighten them out. They do it twice, 3 times. Oh, they deserve to be put in their fucking place. They deserve the worst kind of mansplaining to make them feel stupid. And if they don't like it, you're fucking fired. There's the door. Get the fuck out. Pack your bags. Put all your shit in it. Give your mama a call because you're going home. If you're going to play in a man's fucking world, you're going to learn to operate like a man. And if you don't know, you're gonna get mansplaining. Men, hey guys, we know our place. If I got a boss, he's the boss. There's a reason he's the boss. If I don't like that he's the boss or I think I'm smarter than him, I should quit and go get a job or start my own fucking business. Right? The idea is for me to learn from him, so that if he retires, if he quits, if he moves on, I can get the job. I can move up. That's how I got to where I am. As a business owner, a general contractor, a brewmaster, whatever it is I do. As facility manager, as dad. I tell my kids, when you have your own kids, you can be the dad. Right? But until you're that guy, until you're top dog, someone's going to be your boss. And there's going to be mansplaining. And I don't have a problem with it. I think it's funny as fuck. When I get some mansplaining, I'm like, oh, I fucking earned it, you know. And I man up to it. I accept responsibility for my ignorance or my lack of information. And I just sit down and go, explain it to me. Tell me the way it is, big dog. Right? And I have some fucking fun with it. Women don't want to do that. They don't ever want to admit that they're not the big dog. Especially these cunts in politics and in government. Oh, they're the boss. They're going to tell you how it is. If you ever hear a woman cop talking to someone, Oh, they get right into fucking mansplaining mode. But they seem to forget they're public servants. Same with women who are bureaucrats. And if they get a little bit out of hand, right, they got to contend with the man. They don't like that shit. They scatter like fucking cockroaches when they get under my skin in bureaucracy. Oh, that's some funny shit. It's been years since I've gotten to do that. When I was a general contractor, I dealt with bureaucrats all the time. That was fun. Lots of mansplaining going on. I go, look, I'm on this side of the counter. You're on the side that gives service. You don't fucking tell me how it is, right? You don't tell me what you think. There's rules, and that's what we play by. Go get your fucking boss. Fucking mansplain it to him. So what do you guys think of this, huh? You remember getting mansplaining from your dads and uncles and granddad? Remember how fucking cool that was when you were a kid? Yeah, I'm 47. I still remember that shit. I ate it up, man. I ate it up. Shooting guns. Right, here, son, have a sip of beer. Now, don't drink too much. You get dizzy real fast. You're like, oh, whoo, Dad, you're right. You're a kid. You take one little sip and you think you're dizzy. It's funny as fuck. Mansplaining. It's a good thing. And for women who don't like mansplaining, what does that mean? It means they're fucking whores. It means they think they're your equal. It means they think they know better, or they're too good, or they know it all. You don't want to be anywhere near that fucking woman. You don't want to be stuck having to pay for her decisions. That's why men need to fucking take the power back. We need to get away from gynocentric models of behavior and action and decisions. It's a good fucking cigar, by the way. You guys be cool. Leave your comments on mansplaining. Leave your stories on mansplaining. Talk about how your kids like it, didn't like it. Daughters, wives, mothers. Fuck, I mansplain shit to my mom when I talk to her. And she fucking takes it. Why? Because she doesn't know. Why? And I love my mother, but on a lot of levels, she's a 5-year-old girl. She don't fucking get it. And so my dad, my stepdad now, splains it to her. He says, Judy, this is the way it is. And he fucking tells her. It's funny as fuck. I work with two Judys, and I love saying that to them. I go, Judy! Same way my stepdad talks to my mom. Funny as fuck. They snap too, because they're old. No one calls their fucking daughters Judy anymore. All right, guys. Be cool. Remember, MGTOW, men going their own way. Right? Look in the mirror. I have the penis. I'm the boss. I'm going to be doing the mansplaining today. Right? And take that shit back. Take the power back. It's a man's world. Take it back. I have the penis. Semper Fi.